Well, hello, good morning, everyone. Ayan, I am Coach Shaun Joya from Life Coach Philippines, and this is coaching for sane parenting. This coaching conversation are for parents who are wanting to be sane by creating a mentally fit environment at home. And my mission is to be able to help 1 million families stay connected spiritually, emotionally, so that they can create a loving and mentally fit household. Thank you for joining me this morning. Ayan, maraming salamat for joining me today. Please leave your digital footprints in the comment section there so I know that you're there. I know that andyan ka at nanonood ka so that you can also, inform everyone that andyan ka para alam namin. Please do tag your friends and circulate this video to help reach out more people, especially in the space that you have for people that you feel na kailangan ng tulong natin as far as parent is concerned. There's no parenting manual in there. So the more that we can help other people, we can inspire other people, and we can bless other people on how to be an effective parent, then, ask them to join in. You might also want to give a shout out to your friends out there, the people out there, the people that you want to greet. Go ahead and give them some inspiring message that inspire them, especially during these times of pandemic where everything is kind of uncertain, and people would need, have that connection, and just for them to feel that you're there for them though. So do send them a message in there. If you are watching this on a replay, click put in the comment section hashtag replay in there, so that we know that you're watching this. I am streaming via FB page of Life Coach Philippines and also YouTube channel Coach AI Connect. So if you want high definition videos that we're streaming, just go to YouTube channel Coach AI Connect. If you are new to this platform, please like and follow and subscribe to both our Facebook and YouTube channel so that you can get real-time updates, real-time videos, from those two pages. All right. So thank you for joining me this morning. My better half, Coach Tin, is there, and Coach Tehendi as well. Maraming salamat for joining me. Today, I'm going to talk about the 30 million word gap. Ayan. Have you ever heard this word? Yeah, this sentence of 30 million word gap. And this is something that I've went through, studied, and I was looking for to try to understand what is it that our children, our kids, and even us, we're having challenges expressing ourselves. We're having challenge expressing our thoughts. We're having challenges expressing our feelings, and we're really just challenged how to express ourselves and to verbalize what we want. And for today's talk, I want to be able to at least give you some insights on what's going on with the individuals, what's going on with us specifically as well, and how we can move forward with that so that we can allow our children to be sane. O, di ba? Tayo kailangan din natin ng sanity. And sanity is being able to express yourself, being able to do the things that you need to do, being able to be focused. And if you're not sane, then where are you focusing your attention on? And that is what I'm going to teach to you this morning. So if this is the first time you're joining me, if this is the first time you're watching me, if this is the first time you've seen my face, I am Coach Shaun De Hoya. I'm a professional life and mental health coach from Life Coach Philippines. I am a son, I am a husband, I am a father, I am a brother, and I'm a friend. You know, Here I want to highlight here that I'm a father. I've been a dad for 19 years now. My daughter is 19 years old and my son is 15 years old. So matatanda na yung mga aking mga anak. At yung panganay ko ay may sariling business na siya. She's a businessman and an entrepreneur. But mostly entrepreneur siya at first. And she is an animator. So what she's doing right now is she's really monetizing her talent. So talent niya yung pag-drawing na yan and animating things, and it is a wonderful feeling. So if you want to learn more about how what she does and how you can take advantage of her works, do commissions, that just let me know, put it in the chat box in there if you want to learn more, so I can share to you the page that she has so she can see some of her work. All right. My focus area is in the area of self-leadership, and self-leadership is our ability to be intentional. Yan, intentionality and self-leadership. Intentional on the way you feel, on the way you think, and the way you respond. And as a parent, it's important that we are always intentional about how we behave with our children because our children mirror what we do. Thank you, Coach Marife and Coach Marine, for joining. Coach Giselle as well is here. Maraming salamat. And what do? I help people have clarity on their dreams, their demands, their distractions, their desires, so that they can focus on the kind of destiny they want to create in their life. A lot of times, especially for parents who are working, we get too caught up with the work that we have, that we don't have any more time. We can't even focus on our children, and we get you know have this filth of guilt that we're not able to help them. We're not able to see them grow. At times we're not able to see them because we're too busy doing a lot of things. And I'm not just saying that you see them physically. It's like really taking a look at them, taking a look at who they are becoming, and being mindful about how they are becoming. And are we really allowing the children to live the life that we want for them? And one of my strength is humor. I believe that humor, and this is based on study, that humor is one of the biggest things that you need to develop. Every individual needs it for you to have self-esteem and for you to be confident. Humor helps you to, just laugh at, the things that you do wrong, the things that are not working, the things that are medyo nakakahiya sa ibang tao siguro, di ba? Those are the things that really would help you stay confident in all of the things that you do. Kasi wala kang hindi mo naman iniisip kung what other would people say. You know that you're authentically being who you are and doing the things that you love, and that is what humor is all about. So if you want to, develop something with your children, teach them humor. I tell you that's the thing that I'm teaching my son and my daughter right now on how to get out bring out that humor in them. And of course, it starts with me, and I'm not your typical guy who has humor. I hide that because of my career. I've been in the corporate world. I've been doing this coaching profession since I left the corporate world back in 2019 after 14 years of successful year in the call center industry. So most of the time, I've been in the leadership role. So leadership role, syempre, dapat matipuno ko doon. At dapat Superman ka. Hindi ka pwedeng yung hihina-hina at babagal-bagal pag sa corporate ka. Especially, um, uh, I think I was handling 1,500 agents. Tapos I had 70 support staff na hinahandle ko. So hindi pwedeng pahina-hina ka lang doon. Dapat malakas ka doon. Dapat matipuno ka. Ayan. Those are the things that I needed to manage. And at the end of the day, I realized that I was too stiff, and also my children were becoming too stiff. They were not expressing, they were not sharing, because I am too. I'm a product of that. So I needed to change that. I need to move forward with that. I need to unlearn all of these things that I've learned in the corporate because it was not serving my purpose for my children. So I've been blessed in my career in there when I left the corporate world to go on full time to take care of the family, to take care of the children. And it's a great experience by far so far. I'm able to create a mentally fit environment at home, and they're thriving. It's a still work in progress, but everything is so doing well. I am on a mission. My mission is to help 1 million men to create a mentally fit ecology at home. So if you have a husband, if you are a husband, or if you are about to have a family, that is who I help with, those men, to keep themselves and their family alive so that they can live a life of more meaning and fulfillment. If you have a kid, if you have a child na makikita mo, hindi na nagpa-perform, mababa na yung performance, hindi na maganda yung nagiging result, and you want to be able to change that and keep them from, killing themselves, you want to keep them there, and you want to see them thriving, then let's have a conversation. I want to help you with that. Ang daming bata ang nawawala at hindi alam ko anong gustong gawin. Let's change the future generation. And the only way that we can do that is for us fathers to change. Na wag maging stiff masyado. Dapat ilabas ang mga humor na yan. At ang mga tatay talaga, mga humoristic yan. Hindi lang na ilalabas yan. Thank you, Lady Jen, for joining. And Master Coach Jasmine, maraming salamat for joining me. All right. So, before we begin, let me share to you this image. Yan. Isipin nyo kung sino tong nasa picture na to. Yeah, anyone can say kung sino tong nasa picture na yan. Wearing this banana shirt na may monkey na nakalambitin doon sa letter A sa banana. Sino kaya sa tingin nyo ito? Sino kaya ang kamukha nito? What do you think? Who is this person in the picture. Ayan, antay tayo. Kung andyan pa kayo, let's just test if you're still in there. O yan, si Coach Kenny, bilis-bilis. Coach Shaun Joya. Nakita ko muna ata to, Coach Candy. Ayan, this is me when I was still young. And the story behind this is when this was taken, this was took a picture. Alam mo yung picture nun, Kodak pa. Yung tipong i-rewind mo ng ganun before ka magpipicture. It was taken back then. We were supposed to smile and my lola was there, my relatives was there, yung mga pinsan ko andyan. And suddenly, when everyone was smiling, a hand slipped in my sides, dito sa side ko at may kumurot sa akin. Yan, kinurot ako. Kaya ganyan yung mukha ko. I was trying to not show my pain, but it showed in the picture. I think it was my sister, yung kapatid kong panganay, yung kumurot sa akin. O, di ba ang kulit? Sila nakasmile sila dyan. Tapos ako nakasimangot. Ayan. Wala pala ako, hindi ko na include yung buong image but that's the image of where it was a funny moment, and it was a moment in which I thought I was smiling and eventually someone made kurot. So ito yung full image yan. I'm gonna share that in there. That is the full image of how it looks like. So yung sister ko, ayun, may kamay dyan na kinurot ako. So I've realized, ayan, para kang inapi. O yan nga, o di ba, yan yung image niya. Para akong inapi, nakasmile sila, tapos ako lang ata yung malungkot at nagtitipi at pumipigil na sumigaw kasi nagpi-picture taking na. And I want to share this picture because this picture, it depicts not of really my face not smiling, but it's more of how my mom has able to teach me to parent me in a ways that I'm able to be expressive. I'm able to express my thoughts. I'm able to express my feelings and all of the different things that she allows me to do. Now, during the 80s, this was time during the 80s. So I was born in 1982. That was the year I was born. I don't look old. I'm not 40s. 30 pa lang ako. Wala pa ako doon sa 40. So, pero wala na ako sa calendar, which is okay. I remember a time in which my mom would ask us to watch Superbook. Sino mong alam? Do you guys know Superbook? Superbook, Flying House, yan. Those are the videos that mom would ask us to watch. Di ba yung Superbook, it's more talking about the Bible. Flying House tells about the story of the Bible as well. And everything in there. And at most often, yung natututunan ko doon is more in English and Tagalog. We seldom speak Bicol at our home because of the things that I was hearing, the conversations that I have, even the conversation at home is Tagalog, hindi siya Bicol. Na I'm only able to utilize Tagalog pag nasa school. Bicol pag nasa school. But even in the school, I still speak Tagalog. But in Bicol words, seldom yan. And going back through this, the things that I've watched during those days, magaganda pa yung mga videos at mga TVs those days. Ngayon, medyo hindi na, not my cup of tea anymore. But those days would really teach you how to speak. The words, the thoughts, the ideas are being shared in the TV shows. I remember also kung cartoons, kung mahilig kayo, yan, si Coach Candy, Super Boink, ang alam ko, ayan. You might have watched Thundercats or He-Man. Yan, baka napanood mo siya ng mga cartoons. Or I can still remember Ang TV. Pero parang 90s na ata yung Ang TV. So medyo later na ata yun. And come to realize with that, these conversations, this thing that I hear, allowed me to have a deeper expanded vocabulary on what I need to do. Plus the conversations that I'm having with my parents would allow me also to express myself. Malaking bagay yung kinakausap ka ng nanay mo. Most often, di naman ako nakakausap ng tatay ko kasi yung tatay ko nag-work sa Metro Manila. But my mom is really the person that I talk to. And di ba during those days as well, as a school, lagi kayong magkakasama, di ba? Iba-iba yung conversation nyo. And those are the things that you talk about. And why am I sharing you this? I want to highlight to you the importance of conversations in growing up as a child. So if you are a parent right now, think about the time and the conversations that you've experienced when you were growing up. And what is the quality of conversations you are having? Because the quality of conversations and the number of words that you hear is the one that's allowing you to express yourself, that's allowing you to be more confident of what you do, that's allowing you to have that intellect that you have in there, which makes you who you are today. I'm going to share to you a landmark study. And in 1995, there was a study found that children from higher income families hear about 30 million more words during their first 3 years of life than children from lower income families. Yan. I want you to reflect on that because you would see here the difference on why other children are not able to express themselves and they're not able to share themselves. And imagine this. This is the 30 million word gap between the two, which spells the difference between the test result with vocabulary, language development, and reading comprehension of the difference between these two families. So the higher income families would be able to have this conversation more compared to the lower income families. And you would think na, makes sense naman, di ba? Because the quality of the conversations for those people or those families na medyo maganda yung income is very, very different towards the lower income. And ito nga yung hina-highlight na the value of life coaching because in life coaching, it allows you to really express yourself. It allows you to verbalize what you're speaking, what you're telling. Hello, Master Coach A. Thank you for joining. Yes, hashtag conversation matter. Conversation really matters in all of the things that we do. And if you're not having the right conversation with your children, then what are they receiving? What are they learning? um I've teach this that the for us to be able to help our children, have more in their vocabulary is we need to speak to them 20,000 words a day. They need to hear 20,000 words per day. Now, hearing is okay. Now, the question is, if they hear 21,000 words per day, sorry about that, 21,000 words, how are they utilizing these learnings? And that is where the 30 million word gap comes in. The 30 million word gap, there was a scientist from MIT found that conversations between an adult and a child appears to change the child's brain. Ayan, so yung conversation, hindi lang yung lahat ng conversation mong ginagawa yan, either maganda yung conversation, pangit yung conversation, hindi maganda yung mga words mo, it is being influenced on the child's brain. And what needs to happen, and the most important thing in conversations is the back and forth conversation. At times what happens, di ba? Ganito lang yung nagiging conversation. The father or the mom would talk to the children and the children would just sit in there listening. Bakit? Kasi pag sumagot yung bata, napapagalitan yung bata. Pag hindi sumagot yung bata, napapagalitan yung bata. O di wag na lang ako magsalita. Kasi ganun din naman yung magiging result. It's still gonna be the same. And for us to be able to, bridge this gap is for you to have a back and forth conversation, which is the most critical thing in language development than the word gap. Ito yung pinaka-critical. In their study, between age 4 to 6, they found that the differences in the number of conversational turns, which is yung palitan ng usapan, kaya nga conversation, in life coaching, what the structure is a dialogue, not a monologue, hindi lang one way. Dialogue siya, parehas yung coach and yung client nag-uusap so that they would be able to facilitate the process. And conversation turns accounted for a large portion of the difference between the brain psychology, physiology, and the language skills that they found among the children. And this finding applied to children regardless of parental income or education. So if you think about that, the most important and critical thing is really the conversation turn, which is accounting for the large portion of the difference in the brain of the individuals in and the language cycle. And findings of this research suggest that parents have considerable influence over their children's language and brain development by just simply engaging them in conversations, the research says. So therefore, parents needs to simply engage their child in conversations. So how much conversations are you having with your children? How much left and right conversations are you having? How much, palitan ng usapan, hindi lang yung ikaw nagsasalita, na hindi natatakot yung bata mag-express sa'yo, na hindi natatakot yung bata ma-reject ng emotions nila. The important thing is not just to talk to your child. Hindi lang yung, kausap ko naman yung mga bata, you would say, Coach, I'm talking to my kids. So my kids are okay. It's not really that. The important thing is how you talk with your child. Hindi lang yung ikaw lang magsasalita, but how both of you have a conversation. Because these conversations are so relevant. And it's not really what you said, but it's how you make the person or your child feel after the conversation. Because when they're able to, listen to rich words, ang tawag ko yan, rich conversations, then they're able to expand their vocabulary rather than just throwing, different words, dumping language in them into the child's brain, which actually, if you think about it, it's not really going to help the children. So what conversations are you having? And how intentional are you having this conversation? So how do you go beyond this word gap? This word gap has changed the way our children express themselves. Maybe you have a child right now who is doing well in academics, who's doing well in whatever they're doing, what they love to do, their arts. But how much time or how intentional are they in really speaking to you, in sharing to you their emotions, in sharing to you what they feel, in sharing to you that, hey, mom, dad, I'm here. I may not able to express myself, but I need you to talk to me. So I would know how to express myself. And this one, if we're able to start working on that, we can co-actively co-create this kind of environment. Master Coach A is teaching this life coaching certification. If you want to know more about that life coaching certification, co-active, co-create, just feel free to message the number there. It's there on the screen, 0917-586-1661. And it's really transformational because you're able to allow your children and the household to create an environment in which you would now go beyond that word gap. You would now start having that rich conversations to which your children can expand their vocabulary, can expand their thinking, can expand their intelligence, can they even expand their emotional connection or emotional quotient. Is one of the greatest thing that when that happens, I would tell you, it's just a wonderful feeling because your children would start expressing themselves. All right. So I'll give you 3 tips. I'll give you 3 points on what you can do. Number one, simply discover what your child's interests are. Yan lang. Like, what are their strengths? Yun muna. Like, do you know their strengths? You would say, Coach, I know, I see, I observe. Well, have you asked? Have you validated? Have they verbalized it with you? Do they understand their strength? Or have you ever asked them what do they love to do? Or what does make their heart sing? These are the type of conversations that you really want to discover what your child interests are. Makes a whole lot of difference in the type of conversation you're having. I remember a time in which my son, who's 15 now, is not really that expressive. Hindi siya nag-express masyado. I have been a parent in which the only thing that I know of parenting as a father is I go to work, I make sure that I have money I put food in the table, I support, I provide, children go to school and what have you. And those are the old ways of me thinking. But I began to observe my son not speaking to me, not speaking to us. And it was just quiet there, taking a look at us when we were speaking. Alam mo yung kanina na parang one way lang yung conversation, monologue lang. And it began to dawn on me that we're doing something wrong. Because if our children are really connected with us, then they should or must be expressing to us their thoughts, their ideas, their desires. And these are things as I started learning and researching and understanding what are the things that I am not doing that allowed my children, to be as such. And as we progressed, I realized that the kind of conversation that I was not having and I was having was not allowing my child to really understand his emotions, his feelings, his ideas, his thoughts, so he can start verbalizing. And I tell you, when I realized that kind of hurt me a bit. So I started to change. So the conversation changed, and the conversation now are rich conversation. Conversations that would make you, you know, be wealthy, not money wealthy in the relationship. That those are rich conversations. And if you know when your rich conversations are effective, if your child is expressing their needs, their wants, their desires, and what they want to do in life to you, that is for me a measure of having rich conversations. So that's the first one. Number two is, of course, have a conversation turns. When you're having a conversation, don't just speak to your son. Pag hindi nagsasalita yung anak nyo, huwag kayong magalit. O minsan kasi nagagalit tayo, di ba? Master Coach Shea shared, the coaching process favors dialogue between individuals to promote critical thinking and to draw out ideas and underlying presumptions, which is so powerful, by the way. Thank you, Master Coach. And that is where it's critical that every individual, every parent needs to learn coaching skills. If you're not going to monetize it, it's fine. But you having this knowledge of coaching skills would really empower your children to be able to, verbalize the things that they want. So the conversation turns is similar in a coaching process in which, you facilitate the thinking of your children. And eventually you allow the children to hear themselves while you're helping them as well, verbalize it. Either, repeating what they said, helping them, being able to express themselves, having the toolkits to help them express. There's a lot of different things that you can be. But the conversation turns needs to happen. It needs to be two-way. Being able to, have this conversation turns based on research correlates strongly with children's score on standardized tests of language skills, including vocabulary, grammar, and verbal reasoning. So kung nagtataka ka yung anak mo hindi nakakapag-express sa'yo or at times kinakausap mo at parang nakatulala lang sa'yo, it's not because your children is dumb or stupid. They're not. They just can't express. Or sometimes your words, they don't understand your words. So sino mag-a-adjust? Malamang ikaw. Ikaw yung nanay eh. Ikaw yung tatay. Kayo mag-adjust. Okay, that's why I'm teaching this. Use that to discover and start the conversation. Use words, the first one, discover what your child's interest, use that as a start in the conversation. And when you use conversation, ikaw mismo, because you're the one who's speaking, right? It's a conversation turns. Your children will mirror what you say. Use words that are familiar at first so that you can connect with your child. Use words that are unfamiliar so your child will start thinking, di ba? They would start asking questions to clarify it. Huwag kayong naiinis pag nagtatanong, nagka-clarify yung bata, hindi nga naiintindihan, nagagalit kayo. Huwag kayong magalit. Use basic words and use specialized words for your child to continue expanding, the things that they know, the words that they know, the words that they listen, the meaning of it, and what have you. So conversation turns. Yan. Enrich your household with rich conversation. Thank you, Master Coach A. Yan. Allow your children to hear themselves. Thank you, Coach Phoebe. Tama. Yan. Highlighting yan. Rich conversations and allow your children to hear themselves. Alam mo yung inuulit mo. Minsan nakakainis, di ba? Paulit-ulit mo. Naku, ulitin mo siya. Kasi pag naririnig ng bata, ang gandang bagay. And lastly, have your child participate and not just listen. Ayan. I've taught taught this before, yung word gap, that you need to allow your children to join the conversations in the table pag nag-uusap yung mga pamilya. And this one allows your child to be able to have a better language outcome because they're able to hear other words from other persons. At times you might say, Coach, kasi yung kapatid ko, yung pinsan ko, yung tita ko, yung mama ko, medyo hindi maganda magsalita. That's the reason why you're there as a parent. Process these thoughts with them so that they understand that they would listen to this. Eventually, when they go to work, they would hear those bad words. So if they're ready for that, because you've taught them, and that's a different experience. Rather than dun niya narinig, tapos hindi na i-process nyo ng parents sa kanya kung anong ibig sabihin ng word na yon, ay malamang matotrauma yon. And that's why the household is the first training ground for the children. And utilize it. You are the trainer as a parent. You are the first teacher. Utilize that household as a training ground for your children by you training them. Sabi ni Coach Candy, I agree parents would need to learn how to explore on words and communication when the child couldn't respond. Yes, it's true. I mean, teach your children. Minsan, di ba, instead na antayin mo yung bata mag-express, nagalit ka na, sinagawan mo na, bakit hindi ka nagsasalita? Ganyan ka ba? Lagi mo nilang ginagawa sa akin yon. Hindi nga alam kung ano yung words na gagamitin. So let's be mindful with that. And allow your child to go through this process. And when you're able to do that, I will tell you the conversations would change, the experience would change, and the way that your children sees you when you are actively co-creating, that kind of relationship, that kind of ecology, that kind of mindset, that kind of habits for your child, it's just a breath of fresh air that you're doing something transformational and inspirational that your child is doing well, really, really well. And it's so fun to take a look at. I'm just super excited with this because, these are the things that as parents seldom do because we're too focused with the work that we're doing. We're too focused on what we are providing to our children rather than that conversation, these conversations that we are planting, which the seeds, when we're able to plant that out, would change the way how our children become successful in the future. And when we're able to do that, I tell you, sabi ko nga, pag nakita ko yung mga anak ko na gano'n, na okay na, a day to die for, I'm good. I would tell God, hey, God, I'm good. You can take me. I'm good. I think my mission here is done. I can go home. Something to think about. Now, here are the common myths about conversations. I would like for you to focus on this and what the reason why, many parents would think that they are sufficiently consuming a lot of things. So conversation is not really needed. I'll give you three myths. Number one, children are digital natives and know it all. Diba? Digitalization, fingertips information, Google, whatever you want to utilize, search there and that's there. Now that's true and great. That information is in the fingertips. But who is filtering what they are reading or watching? If you're not having conversations, rich conversations with your child, how would you know if your child is consuming what's right for them? So children are digital natives and know it all. They can speak their language and what have you. This is a myth. Because someone needs to filter that, to process that, so the children understands it and the children can understand the words. Number two, sorry. Parents are digital immigrants and don't know anything. Yan. Di ba may mga parents yan, hindi naman ako sanay sa digital eh. Hindi naman ako sanay sa tablet, sa cellphone, and so on. Okay na lang ako, bayaan mo na sila. Well, remember the role of the parent is to learn so that they can help their child become better. So it's not that you're not used to it, that you're immigrants about it, that you don't know, hindi ko naman kailangan magpaano dyan eh. Okay na naman na. Diba? How is this? How are your childs being intentional about what they consume? Because you need to learn, you need to be able to understand what are their children doing in the digital space. And in parenting, and sa Bible naman to, parenting never stops until they grow old. When they become adults, you're still a parent to the children. then parenting means that you still teach your children up until the day you die. You continue with that so that you help your children with that. So don't be a digital immigrant. You know, get that. Uh, magpaano ka, magpa-certify ka. Ano bang tawag doon sa pag-immigration ka at nagpa-citizen ka? Yan, digital citizenship ka so that you know how to help your children. And the third myth about conversation is parents' role is to monitor, restrict, and ban because digital risk greatly outweighs digital opportunities. You know, do you know some parents or someone, or maybe that's you, who restrict the children's ability to explore the digital media? No, naka-block lahat, naka-block yung YouTube, naka-block yung Facebook, Netflix, and so on and so forth. You monitor them constantly, you restrict them, you ban a lot of different things, what have you. Don't you ever get tired doing that? Paulit-ulit mong ginagawa. You know, instead of you being stressed out and what the what your children consumes, why not start having that conversations and being interested about what they read, yeah, what they consume, what they watch, who are the people that they connect with, who are the people that they look up to, who are their followers. As parents, we need to, you know, hold ourselves to not just dump words into our children. It means being intentional about how we're speaking to our children, being intentional about how we say to our children. And that comes from knowing yourself first. Because when you know yourself, then eventually you know your children. You understand your children. You know, empathy and compassion. Empathy is being on, in the shoes of the individuals, and compassion is being emotionally connected with the person or the children, because you've underwent the similar experience, and not the same, but similar. So your empathy and compassion is what is needed for you to help your children be successful. And I call this emotional coaching. What parents need right now is the ability to learn emotional coaching. And emotional coaching comes from a perspective of understanding who you are as an individual, because you have your pains, you have your sufferings, you have your unresolved issues, and those unresolved issues that you have is the one that's hurting your relationship with your child. So if you want to change that, if you want to have that deep connection with your children, if you want that peace in your heart and in your mind that your children would eventually be successful when the time comes that God takes you, I would like to invite you for this coaching session. Is Get Your Kids to Behave coaching session. It's around 3 hours session, and it talks about how you can turn around your child's unlikely behavior and how you can help them by starting with you first. You know, at times we get too much lack of investment with ourselves and we pour everything to our children. But what are we teaching our children if we're not investing in ourselves? And this program would allow you to have a deeper understanding of what it takes to be a parent. What are the things that's hindering you from having that connection? What are the things that, keeping you from making that connection? And what's keeping you from having the conversation? Learn more about this. This is something that would really allow you to be, ahead of the other parents in there that's struggling and trying to figure out what they need to do to help their children. And if this is something that you want to, register in, this is a coaching conversation, and coaching are, a dialogue, not a monologue. The link is there for you to register. And you might say, Coach, how can coaching help me? I mean, okay, this is kind of great for me, but how can the coaching session really help me? I'll talk to you what is coaching. Coaching is unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance. This is what John Whitmore has said. It is helping them to learn rather than teaching them. So in coaching, during the process of the coaching session from that program, you would be able to learn who you are rather than telling you who you are. And it's a much powerful way and experience for you to learn. Coaching is also based on a belief that the coachee, which is you, always has the answer to all of your problems. You always do. That's why it's so empowering, because the coach would help you really process those thoughts and the things that you're thinking about and what you're, doing. Coaching also helps people reach their full potential, which I know that you have more there than what you have right now. And that is something that you can consistently do. That is something that you can consistently change. Hold on, let me just change my camera. There you go. And it's something that can happen. Coaching helps people reach their full potential by helping them to unlock their thinking and removing barriers. It's worth noting that these barriers are often mental. It's on our mind. Yeah. And created by the coachee themselves, which is you. And the coach would help you unlock that or remove those barriers. And lastly, in coaching, the coach doesn't advise the client, and all the content is for the coachees. For this reason, the coach does not need to have a direct experience of the coachee's role, because where the coach comes in is really asking powerful questions for the person to think and verbalize their thoughts. That is where the power of life coaching comes in. And if this is something that you feel you want to start moving forward, you want to start thinking about who you are and you want to learn more about yourself, I'm giving you a bonus. This is the hero's inner journey. If this is something that you would want to start the journey of knowing who you are, learning who you are, so that you can be more that you are born to be, feel free to message me. You can message me in this page as well, or message me later. If you have any questions, any inquiries, I'll share to you this hero journey. It's an activity, and afterwards we'll process it so that I can help you start learning who you are. So, get your kids to behave. When you're able to do that, it's so empowering, because you're now in the space of understanding your children, or you're now in the space of supporting your children. You're confident that your children can be successful. You're confident that your children can live the life that they want. You're confident that whatever happens in their life, they would be able to make the change, make the decision, can create the relationship that would inspire them to help others people too. Because you're teaching them to coach while you are coaching them in the process. So if this is something that you want to avail of, the registration fee is 2,999 pesos for one parent. But if you're a couple, mas maganda pag kasama ang asawa. It's 4,999. It's 4,999. And this is where you're gonna have the ability to learn from. Why the price? Well, this is a group coaching session. It's a group coaching session. My one-on-one coaching is much higher than this, but because there's a lot of people in there, it's really just gonna help you, listen to other people. Because when we listen to others, we also learn from others, and that is where the power of the coaching sessions is with you. Now, if you're gonna avail within the next 24 hours, it's something that you want to do. I'm offering a 1,000 pesos off for the registration fee. Just deduct 1,000 pesos in there, register within the next 48 hours. The registration link is what you see in there, which is the red, this one. Type it in there. There's a instruction there on how you can complete the payment. Register in there. Grab your friends, someone you care for, your compare. Let them invite and join in. And I tell you, your life would change. I assure you that your life will really change, and you'll start taking a look at your children on a different perspective. I assure you that. So once again, thank you very much for joining me. Maraming salamat for those who stayed. I hope you learned something from this talk. Get your hashtag pack your bag, my bag moments in there. Share that in your timelines or group or page. Share this to them so that we can start helping others and parents to really get a deeper understanding of what's hindering our children from expressing themselves. Because if you want to create a peaceful world, it starts at home and starts with you, and it overflows towards your children and eventually the people that they're influenced. So message me, follow me on Facebook, That's my Facebook page. You can contact me, sir, 917-569-4200. If you have any questions, maybe you have some clarity in there. You want to clarify in there, feel free to message me. I would be happy to help you. All right. So as I end this conversation, let me invite you to be part of what we are doing as an organization, a professional certified life coaches. Do join us later at 2 p.m. It's going to be Coach Nards, and dyan ata si Coach Nards, Intentional Living. At 4 p.m., it's going to be Coaching for Self-Literacy, which is going to be Coach Phoebe. Yan. Phoebe Tarun Reyes, yan, si Coach Phoebe. So just make sure you join us in there. It's going to be a power pack afternoon and Thursday as well. I would also like to invite you to Master Coach A's Co-Active Co-Create Life Coaching Certification Program. This is a comprehensive coaching to learn and mastering life coaching as an active process of creating a new path to achieving results in life so that your success is inevitable in coaching relationship. This is what I was talking to you about, that you need to create, co-actively co-create, with your child, para maganda yung ecology sa bahay. This program is a 21-day web-based learning, and it also includes a 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A. And if you want to monetize this profession, which you can, by the way, it's the second fastest growing profession in the world. It also includes a 3-day business bootcamp with a senior coaching team. So the program package also comes with many other bonuses. I tell you, there's a lot. We are in the stage right now where we're looking for our avatar, finding our avatar, which is a wonderful thing, by the way. Connect with Coach Rizal through 0917-586-1661. The avatar is your client, so you don't need to find them already, because Master Coach A is going to teach you. If you want to discover the opportunities waiting for you, this profession, contact Coach Rizal on the number as you see on the screen in there, so 917-586-1661. All right. Once again, thank you very much. This is Coach Shaun Joya, the Life Coach Dad from Life Coach Philippines, for coaching Think Talk. Coaches like us think and talk like this, and this is us in the Philippines. So thank you very much. Love, bam, boom, da, bam, boom, da, bam, boom. Thank you. Bye-bye.